This is such an interesting role for you. I don't want to get into spoilers, but we get to see a lot of different sides and dimensions to your character. How was that
Yeah.
experience of having a script where you get to show him being tender, being aggressive? You really get to show your whole range as an actor here.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I think that the way to approach it was this, he's very much singularly focused on um, this task at hand. Again, not to spoil anything like you said, but he is very much focused on putting the pieces of his life back together. And that's what he's doing all the time. So when you see him tender, when you see him angry, when you see him aggressive, it's all with a fixation on uh putting the pieces of his life back together, bringing these people back. Um, so, from a performance perspective, that is really kind of the driving force.
And the film has a big twist in it, but it doesn't wait until the last act to reveal it. It comes about
No.
40 minutes in. What did you like most about actually getting to live with the aftermath and the fallout of the twist rather than having that build up to, a big reveal?
Yeah, I mean, you get to see kind of what he's been up to the whole time. What he's been working toward. And I think that you get to see the physical and emotional toll that this has taken on him, the price that he's paid trying to play God in his life in this capacity, the humanity that he's lost. Um, and so for me, that was a really interesting, exciting thing to see. He's had to compromise his own, I don't want to say his own morality has been compromised, but he's not a psychopath, he's not a sociopath. He's somebody who is um attempting to make things right in his mind, and in doing so is doing things that are morally questionable.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about playing a character that does do some pretty bad things.
Yeah.
Do you try to find the justification in his mind, and that's kind of how you find the heart of the character, or what is your approach
Yeah.
there?
No, of course, I think that, you know, even people who are psychopathic or sociopathic, they're not like usually able to express that to you. There's always a reason in their mind. There's something reasonable as to why they're doing what they're doing. And for Bruce, that in was very clear and very simple. I think that the tricky thing is, if you, again, without spoiler alerts, so I'll just say this is like a theoretical, like if you have created life, do you have a right to extinguish that life to recreate something that closer to what you intended? I think that that is where the morally gray, that's where things get really, really morally gray, I think for Bruce. And I think maybe, I think that he knows, I think he at least knows that what he's doing is taking a toll on him. Um, I do think that he believes in that the outcome is right for him and for his family.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I wanted to ask you about Jessica as a scene partner because just like your character, you guys have so many different types of scenes. There's like some
Mhm.
tender moments, some
Yeah,
romance. There's also like some intense action moments.
totally.
How was it just really getting to see, her range as well in interacting in so many different ways in one film?
Yeah. Well, Jessica's a phenomenal actress. She is so talented, and she really can do anything. Um, and Bruce loves his wife, but his wife being the, the operative
Yeah.
in that sentence. He loves his wife, and I think would be an amazing husband to his wife should he be able to do that. Uh, so I think he misses her desperately and loves her entirely. And Jessica's just so wonderful that creating that dynamic was easy. And then from there, his desperation um, and his frustration births his anger and his physicality, from there. So it's from that place. Bruce is unable to grieve. Bruce is unable to let go. So Bruce is dead set on making life what he thinks it should be. And that is the root of his suffering.
And I want to ask you about the director BT. I was really impressed. This was the debut film for BT. What kind of stood out about them as a director?
I mean, BT wrote a great script. He wrote great characters, fully fleshed out. Had a very clear vision for the movie he was making. He's already a very well-established commercial director and music video director. He had made a short that I thought was really fantastic. So he certainly was primed and ready to make his feature debut. And everybody had their first movie at one point. These like icons of cinema that we think about. There was a day where they called to action on their very first set. And so for me, I'm just happy that I got to support him and help bring that moment to be and his vision for this movie to life.
I love that because you've worked with some icons, Spielberg, Fincher, PTA, Gus Van Sant. Like those are
Mhm.
some of the all time greats.
Yeah.
How has it been knowing that these masters of cinema have trusted you to play a role in their films?
I mean, it feels great. To be honest, it's intense, you go in, but like that's what I'm here for. I have ever since I did Running with Scissors when I was 18, I was like, I just want to work with the people that I am enamored with, you know what I mean? With the people whose movies I love, and it's really been the sole focus. Like it's everything to me is getting to be on set with these filmmakers and understand what they're trying to do. Let yourself be directed toward it. Let yourself fall into their process, which is so different. Everybody's process is so different. And to rise to that occasion, it just feels so good. I mean, there's no better feeling than being on a set, and the more intensity, the more pressure, the better for me. I just love it. I think it's the best thing in the world.
I love that. My last question for you. You've been acting for a long time. You started as a child actor and you were in
Yeah.
Jack Frost with Michael P in
Hmm.
one of your first
Hmm.
movies. I watched it just last year for
Hmm.
Christmas. That was in my Christmas marathon. How has it
Right.
been being attached to a film that, it wasn't lauded at release, but there's still an audience that comes back to it every single year? So that film has had such a lifespan. How has it been just growing up with that film always being on? And I'm
Yeah,
sure you still get reached out to about it.
it's the thing that everybody like knows me from, which is so funny. It's like not everybody has seen Mank. You know what I mean? Like movie people have, you know what I mean? Like the movies that you mentioned, like and I don't mean to say not everybody's seen Mank. A lot of people saw Mank and loved Mank. It's a great movie, but it's like Jack Frost is this movie that plays every single Christmas, and so many people that I come in contact with have seen that movie or seen pieces of that movie or know of that movie. It's like being on a TV show that only plays once a year but plays the same episode and does the last like 28 years. So it really honestly like unless I'm like with movie people, it's like it's the thing that most people know me from.
That's fun. It's a fun film too. It's still fun to rewatch. Joseph, thank
Mhm.
you so much for your time and congrats on Affection. I thought you and Jessica were really great.